All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Kape versus Almabayev has just ended, and I only watched the last three fights of the night. So that's all I'm going to be covering. This card was pretty shit. I mean, as far as finishing wise, it looks like it delivered with some decent fights. Okay, maybe I lied. We had one, two, three, four finishes. I guess they didn't really deliver finishing wise. I didn't watch any of these fights. The only fight I thought about going back and rewatching was this Charles Johnson fight. All these other fights, don't give a fuck. So starting off with the first fight that I watched, which is Nasrat Haqparast versus Esteban Ribovics. This is a great fight. A great back and forth, constant fight. Momentum shifts slightly each way. First round, I thought it was a clear round. One judge had the first round for Ribovics. Ribovics was doing a lot of constant pressure, a lot of constant throwing out there, and he was the one marching forward all the time in all three of the rounds. But the better of the shots, the more powerful or the more impactful shots were landed by Haqparast. Nasrat. We're just going to go with Nasrat. A lot of the shots that Ribovics was hitting were on the gloves and the forearms of Nasrat. Now that does drain, your punching ability, but you could see the difference, except in the third round when Nasrat would hit clean shots on Esteban. You could see the difference in impactfulness. Now I think the cardio advantage 100%. If this is a 5-round fight, I would probably pick Ribovics to finish Haqparast in the 4th or 5th round, because he did not slow down the entire fight. It was constant pressure, constant marching forward. Even when he was getting hit, still moving forward. Third round, he definitely won. I scored the first 2 rounds for Haqparast and the third round for Ribovics. I think one judge scored the first round for Ribovics. If I scored any round for him, it would have been the second. So if you're scoring it for Esteban, you definitely are scoring, in my opinion, you're giving him the second and the third round. Third round, he clearly landed the better shot. Nasrat was slowing down drastically, just kind of throwing back, just surviving. Like in his mind, he probably thought, I have the first 2 rounds in the bag. I'm just going to survive this last round. Not that he wasn't going for it at all. Got cut with just a clean knee right to the face. Hurt him badly. Survived it and came back and got the split decision. Still, got the win, got fight of the night, so they both got bonuses. Nice, good for them. This definitely should have been the co-main event. I really don't know why Cody Brundage versus, let's just move on to that now, Julian Marquez was co-main event. They're both coming up on losses. I think Marquez is on like a 5 or 6 fight losing streak. He needs cut from the UFC. All of Brundage's wins have asterisks, or most of them. I don't think they gave Marquez a sub attempt, but not Brundage. They both went for, I think Marquez went for a guillotine and Brundage went for, I can't remember what they called it. It almost just looked like a modified head and arm choke. Not much to say about this fight. Very weird ending sequence. Right out of the gate, Brundage just looking for heavy shots. Just throwing that right hand, just leeching in, throwing that or leaning in, throwing that right hand. You could see him starting to get, both of them, starting to get tired towards the end of the first round. They're the come-in event and they only have a round of cardio. Then they start going at it towards the end of the round. Julian almost has Brundage finished. I'm thinking, here we go, Brundage is about to quit like he usually does. Anytime he's in a fight and he can get a way out, he usually quits and gives up. But not this time, not against Julian Marquez. The thing I didn't like about this is I think Brundage got hit and his mouthpiece flew out. Then Brundage hit Julian and his mouthpiece came out. The ref stopped it when the momentum was swinging in the favor of Julian. Put their mouthpieces back in, and then immediately he just gets finished right after that. Brundage clips him with like a right hand, left hand, and another right hand to set him down. Finishes him off. Gets him back in the win column, but I don't think he's not. I don't think he has any I couldn't see him getting in the top 15, honestly. Middleweight's not that deep, so maybe he could get to 15, but you're pushing it. I think he's just gonna be sort of that, like, can you get into the UFC? Can you beat the bottom of the barrel of the middleweight division? If you can beat Cody Brundage. Oh well. Moving on. Main event. This was a pretty somewhat decent technical fight. Nothing super exciting. We have Manel Kape versus Vs.Almabayev. I really hate that this is going to be somewhat overlooked, or maybe people may overlook the fact that Manel Kape, I poked Almabayev kind of to get the finish. He right at the end, Almabayev circling out, and Kape's reaching for him, and he grazes his eyes. The ref didn't see it. The ref didn't stop it. Give him his 5 minutes. There was another point in the fight where Manel Kape, I think it was the end of the second round, Kape did the same thing where he grazed him, but the ref didn't see it. Because before that, he hit him with a punch, or no, that was the end of the first round, wasn't it? It was an eye gouge. They thought it was a punch. They told the ref that it was illegal, like it was a strike. Then when they did it on the replay, it was shown that it was like kind of it wasn't a poke. It was more of like reaching in and grazing across. So he did that twice. And the second time was the finishing sequence. Started the finishing sequence. And the stoppage was really weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I take the 2 eye pokes out. I still think Manel Kape would have completely... I mean, he was a complete outclass of Vs.Almabayev. Anytime Almabayev was going in for a takedown, he couldn't get the takedown. Kape would just sprawl on his head, reverse position, get back up to the feet. Kape was landing the better shots, getting Almabayev to bite on all of his feints. Almabayev landed a couple decent strikes, but nothing really major impactful. You could tell the power difference between these two here. But yeah, I didn't really like the stoppage. I feel like essentially Kape won via Almabayev running away stoppage. When the ref jumped in to stop it, Almabayev literally ran across the cage. He pulled a Chelsea Chandler, ran across the cage, and then the ref just jumped in and stopped it. He was like half-hearted in on a takedown. Not that he was able to get any of them, but weird stoppage. They're probably, if they don't give Kape France the next title shot, which I don't think he deserves it. He's only on a 1-fight winning streak. I mean, Kape's only on a 2-fight losing streak, or winning streak against, I mean, what, number 8 and, was it 11 or 12? I think if you're going to give it to one of them, you give it to Kape. Or do Kape and Kape France for a number 1 contender fight, and let Pantoja go up to 135, like I think they should do. But they probably won't. So hopefully Manel Kape gets the next title shot. I'd rather see that than Kape France. I think Kape just has more ways to win than Kape France does. Don't really have too much else to say about the fight. Kind of a bummer the way it ended. Just really, especially with the eye pokes. The eye pokes kind of ruined it. Again, if you take those out, I still think he's going to win. 9 times out of 10 at least. So let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of the main event? What did you think of this card in general? If you are not subscribed, make sure and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. Drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.